Never let anybody see you sweat.
So I was born in New York City, and I lived there until I was 8 years old. I realized that I was a much better talker than I was a listener.
I don't know what to say, I just don't like what you're saying.
Sorry, Your Honor.
I ended up going to law school at Georgetown, and I was a prosecutor for Janet Reno. I loved it because it was so raw.
Were you cheating on her?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
All rise.
Our show will be a mixture of education, I think you're misreading the law a little bit, and entertainment. My main goal is justice and the law. That's been my legacy, and the legacy I hope to continue into the future with the show.
Benjamin Leon claims he was commissioned to create a mural, and the defendant painted over it. Kenneth Abrams says the mural depicted the plaintiff's uncle, who was a convicted felon, and his image was bad for business.
Okay, Mr. Leon, you are suing Mr. Abrams for $10,000 in property damage because he painted over a mural of yours. Tell me what happened.
Yes, Your Honor. So originally, I am from Urbana, Illinois. I have an immigrant backstory. My parents are immigrants. I'm first-generation American. And I've been a painter since I was 15 years old. I started as a graphic artist, got my work recognized in several murals, many of which have ended up in Chicago. And in May of 2024, my uncle, Roy Ramos, was coming to prominence as an official for a city council. And so I was commissioned by the Urbana Business Empowerment PAC, which was supporting my uncle. And so I was commissioned to paint a mural of his face on a beautiful building. It was in the newspapers. It was, in the press. I have actually,
here's the,
or that's the mural.
Wow, you're very talented.
Thank you so much.
Wow, your uncle had to really, this is a how many story building?
I believe 2 or 3, if I'm not mistaken.
At least 2.
And so, we've got this.
He must have been pretty psyched. Was he running for office when that, or he had already won?
He had just won.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
And so that building was owned by a different owner, and then for a couple of months, I then got an email from a new owner who I'd never met before, asking if he could take it down because at one point my uncle was actually brought to court.
Ooh, what happened with your uncle?
Yeah, tax evasion.
Really?
Yeah,
and
not good.
He was charged with tax evasion?
A few months later, he was. So
was he charged with anything besides tax evasion?
No, ma'am, not that I'm aware.
And was he convicted?
I think he had to pay a really massive fine, and obviously it's a stamp on his legacy.
Yeah. So what happened to your mural? Because that's what brings us here.
Yes. So that first time I got contacted by Mr. Abrams here, he asked me if he could paint over or destroy the mural because of the allegations.
Okay.
I said no, because out of respect for my uncle, whose legacy of being an immigrant hard worker and rising to prominence, I didn't want to just disrespect that and throw it all away. And I wanted to see what would come of it. Then in November, he was convicted.
So that whole innocent until proven guilty thing was, now he's proven guilty.
Yes.
And then what?
Well, I didn't hear from Mr. Abrams. He had supposedly contacted me via email, but I didn't see it because I was so busy with my work and my mother was sick.
Well, he had already asked you, can I paint over it? And you said no.
Correct.
Right? Okay. So talk to me. You tell me your reasoning for why you wanted to paint over the mural.
I'm a property developer in Urbana. I knew about this painting before I purchased the property. I thought it was a great painting, and when I owned it, I thought I was very proud to own something that lifted up one of our residents of Urbana. But when he was convicted, Your Honor, I was very concerned now, and I do have financial statements that show my businesses did take losses during that time from that conviction on. After...
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
You bought this building, the mural was already on it.
It was.
So tell me about your conversations with the business owners.
Well, when he was convicted, I was very concerned now that we no longer are lifting up a local resident, but a local felon. And that concerned me. So I talking to them, they did tell me that they were losing money, starting to lose, their profits were falling.
And you actually, I saw some statistics that one of the businesses gave you about that.
Yes.
And so, what did you decide to do?
So at that time, I emailed Mr. Leon again, telling him, you know, of the change in the situation is no longer, you know, a possibility that he's been convicted. It's now a black eye on the side of my building as far as I'm concerned and my business.
Coming up on Justice for the People.
You know, there was another option. Paying him to get him to sign a waiver was another option.
He didn't respond.
Well, no, he responded no.
And later,
She was house sitting and pet sitting for my beloved cats, Lulu and Eddie.
These cats are very reckless.
if you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching Emmy-nominated Justice for the People with Judge Milian. We're back with the case of Benjamin Leon, who was suing Kenneth Abrams for property damage.
I did not hear back from him. I waited 90 days, you know, and I never heard back from him. So I hired someone to paint the wall white.
Well, how many times does somebody have to say no, right? Because he had said no to you already.
He had, Your Honor, when he was just charged with it. He wasn't, but once he was convicted.
Well, but the question you ask him when you ask him is, I want to paint over your art, and the answer is no. For whether he had been convicted or hadn't been convicted, you wanted to paint over his art because he was charged, and that
Correct.
you felt was sufficient. He says no. There's a real simple solution to this. If I own the building and I commissioned you to do a mural, I also have you state that whenever I feel like it, I can paint over it. That's what I would say in the agreement. If I'm the building owner, when I commission this, by the way, how much were you paid?
$3,500.
Right. When I commission this, what I do is I say, I can take this out whenever I want. You painted over it.
I did.
Your building is great. Your tenants are happy. But then the issue becomes, what am I supposed to do based on this law that doesn't allow you to take down art unless you're allowed to take down the art? You know, there was another option here. Paying him to get him to sign a waiver was another option.
He didn't respond.
Well, no, he responded no. Okay? And so the thing for you to do that, and I realize it's his uncle, so it's hairy, you know, but you can't just do, when you say he didn't respond, how many times did you try to reach him?
Twice after that, during
Can I
that
see the
90 days.
emails?
Yes.
Were they sent to your correct email? Did you eventually see his emails?
Yes,
Were
ma'am.
you ignoring his emails?
No,
'Cause-
ma'am. I was truly busy. It just dropped down to the end of the, you know how it happens. You get too many emails, they get flooded, and you don't see it.
When you say I know how it happens, no, eventually I catch up on my emails.
Oh, fair enough.
Okay, so the first one, he answered and said, no, my uncle's a respected member of the community, I won't besmirch that. So you sent him one more email once he got convicted. I am once again reaching out regarding the mural on my building. I respected your wishes to keep it up originally, but now he's convicted of corruption, by the way, I don't know who's right, and I don't want to have a criminal on my building. It was definitely a felony. My businesses are taking a financial hit. My intention is to paint over it as soon as possible. Please advise. Sending one email is not going to cut it when you have a prior no. You know, it's not. So the question then becomes, what are his damages? How did you come up with $10,000? I mean, do you not think the value of the art is maybe lessened by the conviction?
Yes and no, ma'am.
Okay.
While I know that my uncle's reputation and his legacy has somewhat been tarnished, he did come from nothing and built himself to be
Okay, a lot of people come from nothing,
Yes.
including me. But what I'm trying to tell you is I've got to assess an amount to your damages. I agree with you.
Yes.
I don't think sending one email after you've already gotten a no is, hey, he didn't answer, I'm going to paint over. No, that's not what's envisioned under the law. But I now have to assess an amount to your damages. I can't just pick the statutory limit of your small claims case. I have to actually assess it. So I'm looking at things like it's meaningful to you, it's your uncle, and he got charged with either corruption or tax evasion and was convicted of either corruption or tax evasion. And I take it he's no longer a city councilman, right?
No, ma'am.
Right. So, and now he's not exactly Urbana's, pedestal child anymore. So he's meaningful to you, but maybe not to the city. You don't think that that brings down the value of your art and whether it should be on the side of a building?
I do, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm willing to go for as low as $3,500 or the opportunity to create a new mural.
Oh, he's not going to let you touch his wall. He's not going to let you touch his wall. And if you ever do want somebody to paint a mural there, which is, I happen to love that kind of art, but if you ever happen to do that, get a waiver. And say it's yours, and that because you can do that. The law envisions you doing that, getting a complete waiver, so that if you change your mind the next day, you can put whatever you want up there.
Your Honor, my businesses took thousands of dollars in negative.
Yeah, you
image
didn't
imagery.
though, right? And then we got to kind of, like, seriously, we got to connect it to the loss in business. At that time could be for 1,000 reasons, not necessarily. So that's not going to be any measure of damages for you. That has nothing to do with you. They paid you the rent. So what I have to assess is literally what that mural is worth under our circumstances. Wow, I hate doing that. You people are always fighting, putting me in the middle. See, when you say, I'm willing to go as low as, well, that's really big of you, but I'm not sure that that's an accurate assessment of the value of the mural to anybody but you and your uncle and your other loved ones. But I want to send a message to you that you don't get to just get a no, send one email, and paint over stuff. This is a time when we do a little rough justice. I am assessing your damages at $2,000, ruling in favor of the plaintiff.
All rise.
Judge Milian has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant owes $2,000.
I'm sorry I had to come to this. Maybe we could have communicated more effectively.
No, I've already taken more financial loss than, so it's just an additional.
Coming up,
She said that she had gone all over, and she said that unfortunately she hadn't found the cat yet. And I put an ad on all over on Nextdoor.
you're watching Emmy-nominated Justice for the People with Judge Milian. Kathleen Meeks claims she spent thousands to replace a rare Devon Rex cat that ran away when her friend was house-sitting. Nicole Ramirez says the cat is an escape artist and will eventually get tired of roaming and come home.
Okay, Ms. Meeks, you are suing your former friend, Ms. Ramirez, for $2,300 in negligence because she lost your cat.
That's correct, Your Honor.
First of all, how do you two know each other?
We met in yoga class.
How long have you known each other?
For about 6 years.
Okay. Tell me what happened in this case.
She was house sitting and pet sitting for my beloved cats, Lulu and Eddie.
And what kind of cats are they?
They are Devon Rex cats.
So she's house sitting, and how do you find out that something's gone wrong?
I get a call from her about the 5th day in of her house sitting, and I find out that Eddie had gotten out.
Did you ask her what, if anything, she was doing to find Eddie?
I did. I
And
said,
what'd she say?
She said that she had gone all over, and she said that unfortunately she hadn't found the cat yet. And I put an ad on all over on Nextdoor. A reward for $500, which I upped later to $1,000. So I'm searching high and low for Eddie.
Okay. So you went out and bought another, what type of, Devon Rex?
That's correct.
Okay.
I have.
That's a strange-looking cat. All right. You ended up paying how much for this new cat?
$2,300.
Okay. Let me hear from you, Ms. Ramirez.
I did absolutely everything in my power to take care of those cats and to find Eddie. These cats are very reckless. They are kind of escape artists.
Coming up,
That tends to make a person in my position think that you're opening the door and not really remembering that they're escape artists and being a little careless, and you don't notice when they walk out the door.
You're watching Emmy-nominated Justice for the People with Judge Milian. We're back with a dispute between Kathleen Meeks and Nicole Ramirez over the cost of replacing a unique domestic feline.
How'd the cat get out?
We just don't know. I truly, unfortunately, don't.
I know, that's why you're getting sued. You understand that, right? That you don't know. That tends to make a person in my position think that you're opening the door and not really remembering that they're escape artists and being a little careless, and you don't notice when they walk out the door. That's what I am gleaning from this. Explain to me why you would not be responsible for her new cat costs. I mean, it's a little high.
You know, $2,300 for a cat isn't.
Yeah, but why should she have to spend that money if it's your fault that the cat got lost?
He really is. He has a history of escaping, and he's kind of become untrained.
Has Eddie ever escaped on you before?
He has had a habit of escaping a couple of times,
Yeah,
but we've
they're
always
cats.
got him back.
They're intrigued by what's outside. The fact that everybody knows that Eddie's an escape artist makes it kind of worse that you're not making sure that the door is closed. It's happening under your watch.
Cats run away daily.
Yeah, cats run away,
and
yes.
they come back. So that's the other thing.
Has the cat come back?
No, the cat hasn't come back. But if it comes back in a week, and I just paid her $2,300 for a missing cat.
I got an idea. If the cat comes back in a week, then you sue her for the $2,300 back because she got the cat back. Just don't bring it in front of me, okay? These are a very special breed of cat that are very, very expensive. However, I'm going to say something now that's going to crush you a little bit. You know, they're still property, and property has to be depreciated. The cost of a beautiful new little tiny kitten who's going to live X amount of expected lifespan is not the same value of Eddie, no matter how much you love Eddie.
Judge Milian's verdict when Justice for the People returns. You're watching Emmy-nominated Justice for the People with Judge Milian.
So the question for me in a court of law is, what is the depreciated value of a 4-year-old Devon Rex?
I don't think we can put a price on that. I mean, do you have an animal?
I know, and yet that's what I have to do.
We're here
Isn't
to
that
literally
something? I gotta put a price on it, right?
Yeah.
That's my job, so I'm gonna put a price on it.
Eddie is $2,300 for this new cat.
Yeah, I know you want replacement
another
value.
cat.
That's not what you get in court. What you get in court is what she did wrong. What she did wrong is a 4-year-old cat got loose.
That's correct.
So I'm going to do a little hocus pocus right now and depreciate Eddie, which that's the part I meant was going to be painful, but that's what I'm supposed to do. What is the value on the open market of a 4-year-old Devon Rex? That's what I have to do. So,
Honestly, Your Honor,
we're done. I'm going to depreciate Eddie, sorry, Eddie, by a percentage that is appropriate for those years. I'm awarding you $1,533.33 towards the purchase of your new cat. That's my verdict.
All rise.
Judge Milian has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant owes $1,533.33.
I really did love Eddie, and I am very sorry that this happened.
I know you did. I know you did. And I appreciate what you're able to give in replacement for him.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.